again. The movie Creep, about a man obsessed with a wolf that he named Peachfuzz. Good God! He named a wolf mask Peachfuzz. And he wants a man that's a videographer to come and film him because of his own sexual desires. Why is it like this? You can't get off on pornography. You can't get off and find a woman. You have to dress up as a fuzzy and then invite young men that look like Christian Slater. Michael, stop! That you look like Christian Slater to videography your life. This man is famous for the league. He played games with his friends, but in this movie, he's a stalker. I felt like I was watching a Norman Bates documentary, but lower quality. Michael, stop it! I hope you enjoy this. I am getting sick and tired of watching and doing these reviews for this documentarian. Yes, you! Creep! At least Michael stayed at a wall for 15 years and didn't move. He didn't try to dress his sister up in a wolf mask to have sex with her. What are you gonna do? Michael, your sister is dead. Get away. We watched the movie Mike and Jay. Explain to these sycophants why this movie is not great.
Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Mike, he's Jay, and we're reviewing Creep.
Not the song.
Do the Creep. We're reviewing Creep.
Cause I'm a creep. I'm saying, yeah,
Every night you go to karaoke, some sad soul does
so
it.
bad.
Not that everyone who likes that song is sad.
I say God damn!
You did! It's time to fuck, Jay! You got me. Creep. It's Mark Duplass. I don't know how the fuck he says it, but he's a cool guy, and he just has that face of a guy. Like, I want to be your friend. I want to go and I want to have 2 beers, not 3, not too much.
Just 2.
I just want to have 2 beers.
Just 2.
I just want to talk about life.
Bud Light.
It'll be a great time.
We're not going to make love
time. He's in the league. He does a bunch of shit on Netflix. He does a bunch of indie stuff. He's an awesome guy. And him and his friend shot this movie. His friend directed it. It's only those 2 in it. It's him and his friend. I can't think of the guy's name right now. Sue me.
So the overall, like, it's like what, an hour and 17 minutes.
It's short.
Short ass movie, done really well, done on a limited budget between friends, amongst friends. And I'm gonna tell you something. This movie is fucking phenomenal. Skyrocket Armageddon. I listen to the song and I feel teary-eyed inside because I couldn't make something like this. These guys.
About that Stevie Tyler song?
Yeah, Stevie Tyler. Are you friends with him?
It's like the Animal Crackers, Ben Affleck.
Yeah, he's like
on Liv Tyler's
to
song.
be continued.
If you've seen the movie, this is a spoiler review, by the way. If you've seen the movie, like the scene where he's driving up to the house and just talking to the camera. Literally, the script apparently was just like, so-and-so drives up to the house talking to the camera, and they filled in all the rest of the shit. Most of it was ad-libbed. Their friends watched it. They decided together how the movie was going to go. It went from black comedy to horror and all this shit like that. So
Don't be
basically,
racist.
What? So they go up there, and basically this guy just responds to a Craigslist ad or whatever. It's like, I just need a videographer for 8 hours today, make $1,000, whatever.
I'd do
Easy peasy. I would do it too. So he goes up to this weird fucking cabin in the middle of nowhere, and Mark Duplass pops up, and just from the entrance of this character, dude, you love him. You love him. He's like, oh my god. We're gonna have the best time today. You have a kind face. Your skin makes me cry.
He has this personality, I guess, that draws you in, that's not overbearing, and it's not too underwhelming. It's like just the right kind of weirdness that you're like, hey, this is a nice dude. You probably take advantage of him if you wanted to get money out of him, but he's not. He's a nice dude.
It's so realistic because for so much he's like the coolest, nicest, like easy to get along with guy. But then every 5 minutes he'll just throw in some fucking weird thing. He'd be like, let me hug you closely.
Tubby time was the most awkward, or one of the most awkward scenes in this movie. At the very, it's like maybe 25 minutes into the film, very awkward when he's like, hey, I'm gonna go take a bath, come on. And he's like, you know, the videographer's like, you're taking a bath? He's like, yeah, come on. He goes up the steps, this dude's stripping down, he's like, are you comfortable with this? And he's like there on tubby time, and he's like there, like holding an imaginary baby, and he's doing this, you got your little footsie wet, your footsie, and he's like, it's just really, I felt uncomfortable.
He's got an imaginary baby, he's like, oh, that one stinks. He's like, oh, that one tastes pretty good.
Yeah, but then he was like, then he said, you know, I could end it right now. I could end it all. And he like sinks into the tub, and the videographer's like, hey man, are you okay? And he's like, blah! There's a lot of fucking jump scares. That actually got me. That part, because I thought he would just open his eyes or something and like gradually come up. He like, and that actually leads up to the whole thing about Duplass's character in this. He wants to make this guy scared. Like for him to make him scared, he's seeing something in this dude that he likes, and it's almost like Jeepers Creepers. Like he wants to smell it. He wants to make sure that it's like the right scent.
He's so creepy and he's so realistic in the. I mean, it's not realistic in the sense that you would ever come across this, hopefully for you, but just the way he acts, like everything he does, it's like such a fucking. He reminded me of Leslie Vernon from Behind the Mask or whatever. Yeah. He's so likable and charismatic, but so fucking weird at the same time that it's off-putting. And he puts you like, this is one of those movies that's so fucking awkward. Like, there's so many times watching this where I'm just like, oh god,
you get that cringy. You get that. You're like,
And the guy doing the film and the video does a great job of making you feel like him because you're him in this movie. Like you're watching, you're like, God, what would you do in that situation? And he's like, you know what? Maybe I should go. And several times he's like, dude, I should just go. But he's like, the way that Mark Duplass' character keeps him hanging on, he's like, okay, you can go, but I lied. Can I tell you what I lied about? And then there's this scene where, I mean, he does multiple things like that, like when they're running through the woods and he just takes off running and he scares them or whatever. And then all of a sudden he's like, let me ask you a question. When you saw that axe, was there a part of you that thought I might kill you with it?
I'd be like, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, at that point, dude, it's perfect because he goes just far enough to where if you're that guy, here's the level to where you'd be like, fuck you, I'm leaving, this is weird. Yeah. And here's the level to where he goes. He goes right up to there. He goes right up to there and like makes you want to be like, I should leave.
Your middle finger?
But I don't want to be weird. Maybe this guy's on legit. I don't know for sure. I mean, he goes right up to the cusp.
He does.
He couples the balls.
He did couple the balls. Mm-hmm. He cradles them very well. You're right, he's very charismatic, and he's got, because I didn't even think he was a threat. Like, honestly, I thought, this is what I thought when I was first watching, this is the first time I ever seen it. I thought that the guy that was videographing it, that was, you know, videotaping this guy's life was going to be the killer. Like, it was going to flip it around.
That would have been a twist, man.
Yeah, it would have flipped it around his head, and he was the one that was getting off on, like, fucking around with this dude and stringing him along, but in reality, it was all the time the guy. So
shit hits to a head. That's the problem. When it gets to a head and you know what's gonna fucking happen, they're drinking the whiskey and he's like, no, seriously, dude. At that point where you finally get to the breaking point, that guy and that weird dude on the street saw him, you're like, seriously, I gotta go. I gave you $3. I gotta go. He's doing that thing where he's like, no, seriously, dude, I gotta fucking go home. Where's my keys? That's enough. That's fucking enough. The guy
always stole his keys.
Watching him squirm through this awkward situation is really what puts the viewer in the seat. And then Mark Duplass fucking nailing this character really makes it scary. Yeah, there's holes in it. There's plot holes in it or whatever. But and it's so cheap. It's on the found footage. But literally, it's such a good movie because let's say right now, if we just maybe better audio, we could have made this movie.
Probably, yeah.
Had we been that savantish. They did a great job with that. But when it hits to a head, and finally, he's like, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna drug this guy. He drugs him, he puts shit in his whiskey. And even that moment when he's drugged, dude, he's so realistic. He's laying on that stoop or whatever, and he's like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you? And then he falls back asleep, but then he starts touching himself, and you're like, oh, fuck.
I was like, hey man, you got a great wet dream going. I'm gonna back out now and probably just walk down the hill rather than get my car keys. Thank you for your hospitality and out.
And then,
but this guy was filming him. Yeah. He put it on a tripod and filmed him.
I wouldn't film that.
That's weird. That's the part. Like we're talking about plot holes. That's a little bit weird. Why the guy's already freaked out? Why is he putting the camera on him to film him touching himself? It's like, come lay with me.
Yeah, just run.
Come lay with me. Just get the fuck out, Christian Slater.
Run, Daddy. And he tells this story about the truth about peachfuzz. Peachfuzz is the wolf mask that he finds in the closet, and he's like, I'm gonna tell you the truth about peachfuzz. Which it was weird as fuck when he pulled out peachfuzz to begin with. But he's like, the truth is that then he goes through this whole diatribe about the internet was slow, and then I realized that it was animal pornography, and then I realized it was my wife, and then I raped my wife, Aaron. I raped my wife. And then he says that my wife didn't say anything about it, and he goes on, and then you find out the truth about peachfuzz and what's really behind it. And it's such a creepy fucking moment. And the last words are, and then, this is where the black comedy comes in, because the last words are, the next day, the internet worked fine.
I know. Well,
like,
you know what?
The whole story was just about the fucking internet. It's so perfect.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry I skipped that. When the sister calls and the videographer answers the phone and he starts talking to the sister Angela, I think her name is in this film, and he thinks that's the wife, and she's like, no, I'm his sister. He's been disturbed for years. He does this stuff. Where are you at? Give me the address, and I would suggest that you leave. Like, you get out now. You walk out the house. And he's like, am I in danger? And she's like, just leave. I'm like, bitch, am I in danger? And then she's like, just leave. And then, and he's trying to give her the address, and it all gets... That got me. That was like that was a, she'll up your butthole.
And then, of course, he goes back out of the bathroom. Mark Duplass is fucking gone. And then you got that perfect found footage moment of just him looking around the house, which, why would you carry the fucking camera around? But he finds him, and then Mark Duplass is like, basically... He takes off running, and it scares the fuck out of you when he takes off running. He takes off running, and he goes downstairs, and then all of a sudden he's standing in front of the door wearing fucking peachfuzz's mask, and he's going, and he starts like touching himself, and he's like, stop it, and then as you would do in that situation, finally he's like, stop it, and then he runs towards the door, and then fade to black, and all of a sudden he's in his own house. You get this you're watching this video of Mark Duplass, and as a viewer, Mark Duplass is pulling up these garbage bags. You think, is that Aaron? Is he inside those bags? There's the whole J.J. Abrams mystery box to the fullest. They took a found footage, low budget movie, and they hit all the big movie points, like in this moment. And then it goes on. It gets a little plot holy there because he calls the cops, and they're like,
the plot hole comes in like the cops is one because he reports the stalking, and he reports them sending packages to his house. They didn't even follow up on it. It's weird. And then 3, the sister, there's no other fucking communication with him at all. Because towards the end of the film, we'll get to that, but towards the end of the film, especially when you find the twist at the end, you would have thought the sister would have followed up on this with this guy, like, at least to prevent it from happening again.
Maybe she's just a lazy bitch. That's what I chalked it up to. She just doesn't give that much of a shit. She's like, oh, my brother has problems, you better go. But yeah, so then it goes on and on and on, and it gets a little lengthy even for a short movie at that moment, because you're like, I just want to know what the fuck happened, because he keeps stalking him and sending him packages, but it's creepy as fuck, and literally you're talking about J.J. Abrams, what's in the box. They literally do that. Like, he gets that box, and it's got the video in it, and there's the knife, but the wolf is buried beneath it, but the locket's in there, and it's really creepy and stalkerish at that point. But then he gets the final video where Mark Duplass is actually has been in his house, has been watching him, and it's almost unbelievable, but you're still hooked in. And then it gets funny. He's like, I want you, meet me at this park. I've been lying to you. I just need a friend. And he's banking on him being the best guy ever. And they actually play on that. They say, you know why this worked is because you're the nicest guy ever. He wants him to come to the park to meet him, to talk to him. He's like, I'm sorry for everything I've done. Let's just be friends.
What a tool.
I think a part of the reason Aaron did it is because Aaron was so scared.
Aaron's a dumbass.
He's a dumbass, but I get it to a point because I'd almost want to be like, this is a chance to put a kebab.
No, because
this is a chance to put the plug in the sink and be done with it. I'm just going to do it.
I would agree with you, except for the fact that when he was watching that last video that Duplass's character sent him, that videotape, and he's like, look at that face. It's so sad. I mean, it's just so sad. And he goes to the fucking park. Like, come on, man. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Take that video evidence and go to the cops. You're gonna go meet this motherfucker that's sent you packages to your home. He knows where you live. He's been in your house. Obviously, you know that now because the last videotape was in your screen that was broken out of your bedroom. Why are you gonna go meet this dude to say, I'll be your friend? Are you like? I mean, and then also he mentioned like how he's having dreams about it's not the heart pond anymore. It's like a fucking hot tub, and he's wearing a baby mask, and he's wearing a fucking. I was like, wow, dude.
He goes out there, and then the last scene is of them showing this park, and he's like, fuck you. You might have got me out here, but I am going to film this, and I do have this on speed dial. Like, you've been filming the whole thing, dude. Nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to protect you. So he goes out there, and he sits there, and you get this perfect shot of him sitting at the pond just waiting, and you're thinking as a viewer, what? I mean, he would turn around. Like, you're in a really like high octane situation. You got to be nervous. You're going to be turning around your shoulder every 5 seconds. But he doesn't. And as a viewer, you're like, plot hole. That doesn't make any sense. He comes up behind him, pulls out the wolf mask. He's standing 2 feet from him. He doesn't hear him. Pull out the wolf mask. Pull out an axe. Sticks a fucking axe in his head, and he's fucking dead. And then the best thing ever that makes it just puts a cap on the black comedy is. It turns back and fucking Mark Duplass' character is watching this video and he stops the video.
It's better and better.
Yeah, he's like, why didn't you turn around?
I know.
It's literally fourth wall meta as fuck. He turns around, he's like, why didn't you turn around? He's like, you know why? Because you're the greatest fucking guy ever, and that's why I love you, and that's why I'm obsessed with you. And it's perfect. Like, they took a plot hole and they put it into the story. I see what they did there. It was fucking well done. You could see that these guys are movie watchers. They saw the plot hole and they tried to fill it in, and it makes it worthwhile.
They even did the old like 80s or 70s slashers, because he pops up on screen, scares himself, and he's like, ah! And like, you know, the guy, Duplass' character, gets all scared. And then he's on the phone like 5 minutes later talking to another videographer as he's putting away the videotape of what his latest murder victim. I thought that was really cool. I don't know if that was designed to be that way, or if they just added that in.
Like you said, they lead it to a sequel. By the way, there's going to be 3 of these.
I hope they
It's
are.
a trilogy. Creep 2 comes out in 2017. I give this movie an 8. I give this movie an 8 out of 10. Yeah, it had plot holes. Yeah, it was cheaply filmed. But they took this cheap premise and they made it so interesting and so fucking lovable, and had the coolest fucking character in Mark Duplass. This movie, it's got like a fucking 2-star rating on Netflix. That's fucking insane.
They're fucking ridiculous. I'm going to give this an 8.5 myself. I loved it that much. I think it's a throwback to those 70s, late 70s, early 80s kind of slasher films where you don't know what's going to happen and everybody's on their fucking toes. They're edge of your seats. I think that
Edge of your teats.
And your teats too. You could be on your edge of your tits.
My titties are on edge.
Your tits could be like hard. But it really is, like, he does such a great job, Duplass and Aaron. The whole thing, it's just the two guys. But the way they filmed it, the way that it was shot, there's no music, there's no score in it. It really adds to the flavor. It adds to the overall ambiance of the film, the atmosphere of it. I think this movie is like well underrated, and I wish it had a better. I wish these guys would get like studio backing, because this movie. Then again, I don't. Because if Creep 2 came out and had studio backing, it would lose the magic or the uniqueness that it had in the first one. So it's amazing.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see what the fuck they do with it. Comment down below. Let us know what your all's thoughts on fucking Creep are. Do you think 2 stars on Netflix is fucking bullshit? Because I do. And comment down below. Let us know. We love your fucking faces. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button to get some goddamn wham up in you.